Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for a Black Lotus. I mean, a Legacy Cube draft. We're gonna take a look at the other cards in this pack, but I can't imagine we're taking anything else. We queued very quickly here, so I'm gonna be a guest on a stream or a YouTube channel, more accurately, tomorrow night, doing a vintage cube draft. So I wanted to get one more of these under my belt before that happened. Um, Taking a look at the rest of the pack. Like, there's some good stuff in here. Karn's a fine target to ramp into. But like Lotus is just so far above everything else in this pack. Like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. We're probably not getting anything useful back out of this pack. Oh, Demo Tutor, Time Twister. Bouncer is good. Carpet's not bad. The goat thing. Goat thing. Yeah, I think we're just gonna take the card that's nice and restricted in vintage and also doesn't like push us in any one given direction. I should have spent a little more time there figuring out what I could have wheeled. So Rofellos is a build around that pushes me towards ramp. Necromancy is on color, but is maybe not the most flexible thing in the world. I could also just take a powerful blue card like Factor Fiction. Palace is less good if I'm going to be wanting to splash colors. Palace is really good. Let's see if we can go a Reanimator route, or at least leave myself open to that idea. Jette's good, Chupacabra's good, Fairy's good. A lot of the other things require too much work for my liking. Staying on task, Ravenous Chupacabra is pretty good. Jette will destroy the ever-loving crap out of some strategies, though, and it's much less replaceable than something like the Chupacabra is. I think I'm just going to pick up a generically very powerful card here. That's a fatty. But I feel like the fatties are replaceable. I'm gonna grab IOK. I think it's much worse than something like Thoughtseize, but it is what it is. So this is a 4-mana removal spell for anything, or a 1-mana cheap interaction spell. I think I can do better than Unburial Rites. Go ahead and pick up this good removal spell. Regisaur is sweet. It's a discard outlet and just a big idiot that I can play off of Lotus. Alright, there's another good discard outlet that can also just take over games on its own. I don't know that we're going to be mono black. I don't really see the deck going in that direction long term. Sphinx or the Living Death? Yeah, let's pick the Living Death. Alright, so I'm gonna drag some stuff over here pretty far. Can. So we have one discard outlet, two discard outlets. I have two reanimation spells. Eh. Eh. Why are we going over there? Okay. I will pick up an Ashen Rider as a big dumb thing to reanimate. We have two very powerful cards, two disruptive cards, a finisher, and a half. And some other stuff that's okay. We also probably cut black pretty darn hard in this pack. So pack 2, or sorry, pack 3 should look really good for us for black stuff. We also got past Demo Tutor. So unless there was something like way, way better in that pack, we are like really likely to have good black, holy shit, black flowing to us later on. Maybe we do end up mono black. Like, I would not be ashamed to play all of these cards. Remember, the CMC and color and such doesn't super matter if we're cheating them in from the graveyard. We'd like to find better reanimation than what we have. But things are going okay. Black's really good. I am looking at Mox Sapphire, Dark Ritual, Shriekmaw. Dark Ritual as a 3-mana hotspot for Rotting Regisaur and Necromancy is cool. If there's a world where this wheels, I think I'm just gonna take the power here. I would love to wheel Dark Ritual or Shriekmaw from this pack. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking white could end up being a secondary color. Thoughtseize, Sheoldred, Bitter Blossom. Godless Shrine being a cool thing to wheel that I don't think I'm actually going to wheel. Thoughtseize can target me to put a creature in the graveyard as well. So I think this one is Bitter Blossom versus Thoughtseize. I can probably wheel Sheoldred. I think I'm going to take the Thoughtseize. There's a lot of random life gain in this cube. So there's a Signet on offer, but I don't super have a ton to ramp into. If we go turn 2 Signet, we can have 4 mana on turn 2, and the difference between 4 and 3 mana in this deck right now is super minimal. I think I'm just going to keep taking good black cards. And see where we end up. So, like, not playing that, not playing that. Toxic Deluge is hot. I think the deck's going to be good enough where I don't need to play that either. Maybe I'm undervaluing that card. We'll see what the number of bodies in my deck ends up being for Jete reasons. My body count is low-ish. Might play this to make my Jitte better. I also do want some better reanimation stuff. Like, the black cards are coming, but some people might have hedged and taken some of the better reanimation stuff. We only have passed on burial rights, I believe. Emrakul is not unreasonable there. But now we have like Thoughtsei's Inquisition and him. I think that's legacy caliber disruption. That's a very late channel. Keeping the reanimation dream alive. I'm gonna go ahead and take Una's Prowler. It's also okay with Jitte. I say okay because theoretically an opponent can discard 2 cards to keep it from getting Jitte counters, but that's a pretty big win if that happens. Wishclaw Talisman seems risky to me. I'm just gonna take another big finisher. On the offhand chance that we don't make the reanimation stuff work, having just like a piece of endgame inevitability for after I've like disrupted my opponent and dragged the game on for a while is totally fine. So 1, 2, 3, I guess technically 4 ways to get things into the graveyard. I don't know that I need the Putrid Imp. I think I'm just going to take the value of the Phyrexian Rager. The Shriek Maw came back. The way this Necromancy might end up being used is it might go on my opponent's creatures. It can do that, right? What? Black is so open, holy shit. Alright, go Better Blossom. Is that better than Mazavith? I don't think that's better than Mazavith as a sideboard option. Alright, we're gonna have some decisions to make during deck building. I think we would already theoretically be okay on playables. So there's a bargain, and then the Thran Physician. I'm not super good at ramping out the bargain. I just have like a Lotus and 1 Mox. I don't know that I would actually splash something like Garruk Relentless. I can take the Gilded Lotus as a way to actually hard cast some of these things that end up in my deck. I don't know about that pick. Bazaar? Bazaar? Hmm, that's not bad. I could just take the Bone Shredder to control the board more, or I could take this and consider splashing it. Oh, I guess I don't have a good artifact reanimation target. Scrap that. Um, let's take the unexciting Bone Shredder. Unless I get something like a Reanimate in this pack, I don't think I would play a Bazaar. I don't think this makes the main deck, but I'm going to pick it up. Okay, I don't know. Is this the new Vampire Nighthawk thing? Like a Tarmogoyf Vampire Nighthawk? Flying Death Touch, Lifelink. How many bodies do I have for sort of body in mind? Because that decks someone so quickly. Now let's take this. I think that Woe Strider is probably gonna make the deck. Alright, what does the front side of this do? This is not great. That said, I think I'm picking it. I don't know that it's actually going into the deck. Corpse Dance. Corpse Dance is okay. What's this do? That's a reanimation spell that can also wield a piece of equipment? Okay. This deck feels like it's going to be awkward to me. Oh. Oh. Massacre Worm, Ugin, and Battle Ball. Battle Ball is probably the sweet spot here of something that is like theoretically hard castable and a good reanimation target. I think I go with that. Oh god. Oh baby. That could end up being rather difficult to build. I'm going to have a lot of playables. Wow. Do I want this for certain matchups, or do I just want this? I think I just want this. None of this is particularly playable, I don't think. I think we're at the dregs now, unless that like Vampire Nighthawk-esque card somehow makes it around. No respect for the Armageddon, huh? Okay. No, 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 no. How far does the CMC cost to go over here? Yeah, I think that's just going to be worse than a swamp for us. I don't think this starts in. That doesn't start in. These are in theoretical mana sources. Alright, so now let's actually look at some cards. As far as reanimation goes, we have a Living Death and a Necromancy. So most of the time I should plan on being a mono black control deck. That can occasionally, like, tutor for one of these two and do something disgusting. 2 sweepers in Living Death and Donation. And then removal of yeah. Actually, I guess this is also a reanimation spell, right? Yeah, at 6 mana. You go to the graveyard? You can go to the graveyard. I wonder if I just keep the easily castable ones. Alright, so this is a discard outlet, and this is a discard outlet. I don't think I play you game 1. Don't know if I need that. Does that 27 include those? It does. Still looking to cut a few cards. Let's look at things that I have to carry equipment. So I have Bitter Blossom tokens, maybe Bone Shredder, Rager, Woestrider, and Goat token. Chupacabra, Freakmaw, this thing, Packrat Regisaur. Okay, so I'm not doing too bad on the creature count. I think I'm not going to play this game 1. I think I'm not going to play Living Death game 1. And then I think I make one more cut. Maybe I want 17 if I'm going to try to run these. Maybe I don't run Bone Shredder game 1. Bring this up here and sort by CMC. Would be 16 lands, which is really like 17 lands because of Mox Sapphire. I think I'm okay with that. So there's Agadeem's Awakening to think about. I think we board that in matchups that we know are going to be extremely grindy. But if I'm going to return something like, say, Phyrexian Rager, right, that's 6 mana to do so. Three life is a lot in limited. Yeah, okay, so against aggro decks, I'm going to have the option to board in, like, Maze of Ith, Bone Shredder, Living Death, and Yawgmoth. Against control decks, this can just be aggressive, this can be some endgame inevitability, and against decks where the reanimation portion is going to become more important, I have like these 3 cards that I can be thinking about boarding in. And if I board in some of these, I can also play Gilded Lotus to make hard casting them more reasonable. Um, like this Gilded Lotus can produce white for this. Although Gilded Lotus won't be helping me cast Dragon Lord Atarka. I guess the other thing I can think about is, like, is the upside of casting Ulamog better than just having a Terrasdun in the deck and being able to set up situations where I nuke everything? That I don't know. But I feel like this is a good starting point. So let's go ahead and save that, and I'll do a separate video for the matches.